lives in a pineapple under the sea and somehow shows up everywhere else in pop culture? That's right, SpongeBob SquarePants. Today, we'll explore how this cheerful sponge became a cultural icon, appearing far beyond Bikini Bottom. Let's dive in, and feel free to share your favorite SpongeBob reference below. For starters, here are some notable Nickelodeon shows references. In The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, during Operation Rescue Jet Fusion, a pineapple appears in the ocean. It's confirmed in a Nickelodeon Extra commercial that it's actually SpongeBob's house. Then, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, Master Paku casually told one of his students,
"A couple of more years and you might be ready to fight a sea sponge."
which is a lighthearted dig at SpongeBob. Big Time Rush doesn't miss out either. Patchy the Pirate makes a memorable cameo in the Big Time Beach Party episode, bringing his quirky pirate charm and excitement to the show's beach-themed adventure. In Brain Surge, Season 2, Episode 4, you can spot SpongeBob on a calendar. Little details like this always bring the SpongeBob fans a smile. In Bubble Guppies, there's a cute SpongeBob reference in Trick or Treat Mr. Grumpfish, when Molly suggests dressing up as SpongeBob for Halloween. Cat Dog also sneaks in a reference in Cliff's Little Secret, where a picture of SpongeBob is seen in a movie theater. Danger Force even got in on the action. In Power Problems Part 2, the famous timecard image for 1 week later makes an appearance along with the French narrator's voice being heard. Then in Drake and Josh, during Believe Me Brother, Josh casually mentions wearing SpongeBob underpants, which adds a fun little Easter egg for fans of the show. In The Fairly Odd Parents, SpongeBob gets a shout-out several times. In Father Time, there's a flower pattern in Mr. Turner's tent that resembles SpongeBob's flower clouds. In Wish Fixers, Cosmo calls Timmy
cheese by SquarePants!
In Something's Fishy, the King of Atlantis, Greg, mentions that the merpeople's diet includes crabs, starfish, and the occasional underwater squirrel, as a playful nod to the characters Mr. Krabs, Patrick Star, and Sandy Cheeks. In Double O Schnozmo, Schnozmo plays his nose like a flute, similar to how SpongeBob does in the intro sequence. In App Trap, the first kid with the smartphone has SpongeBob's pants, buck teeth, eyes, hair, and freckles. In Fanboy and Chum Chum, the episode title, Fanboy Ahoy, is a direct reference to the show's original working title, SpongeBoy Ahoy. Harvey Beaks also has multiple SpongeBob nods. In King of the Castle, Fee is seen holding a pizza box labeled Pizza Castle. This is a subtle reference to SpongeBob SquarePants episode The Bully, where Patrick mentions a restaurant by the same name. In Secret Gordon, there's a head shaped like SpongeBob hidden in the garden. In Fee's Pyramid, when Fee shows Foo the baby mobile she made for him, there's a snail on the mobile that bears a slight resemblance to Gary the Snail. In Henry Danger, there are multiple SpongeBob references. In Caved In, the word "fum" is a reference to the SpongeBob episode Chum Bucket Supreme. In Back to the Danger, Ray says,
Aye, aye, Captain.
a direct call-out to SpongeBob's theme song. In Live and Dangerous, Frankini Bottoms is a direct reference to Bikini Bottom. Hey Arnold also slips in a reference in Weighing Harold, where SpongeBob's name appears on a record in a comic store. In House of Anubis, episode House of Crushes, Mara describes her dad as dancing like SpongeBob. The Loud House loves to include SpongeBob references. In Left in the Dark, while the kids are quickly flipping channels, you can spot a yellow sponge and pink starfish on the TV. Yep, that's SpongeBob and Patrick. In Sound of Silence, Luan tells Lincoln a garbage truck joke, which might sound familiar as it's the same joke from the SpongeBob episode Funny Pants. In Making the Grade, a poster in Lisa's kindergarten class features characters who resemble Mr. Krabs, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward, giving a nod to the underwater gang. In Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, there's a fun SpongeBob costume in the episode Photo Day worn by one of the students. Nick Kicks, a UK-produced show, has SpongeBob as the mascot, with him facing off against other football mascots in a lighthearted competition. In Nicky, Ricky, Dicky, and Dawn, SpongeBob makes appearances across episodes. In She Blinded Him with Science, Dicky jokingly says,
"Science Bob SquarePants."
In Sam and Cat, SpongeBob gets another shout-out in Texting Competition when Cat mentions looking for SpongeBob's pineapple house while on a speedboat. In School of Rock, in the episode Changes, the students pretend to be happy when their old teacher comes back. Summer tells Tamika,
"Tone it down, you look like SpongeBob's evil twin."
in The Thundermans, in Evil Never Sleeps, Nora exclaims,
"What in Bikini Bottom is happening right now?"
referencing the hometown of SpongeBob. The troupe also brings up SpongeBob a few times. In Tentacle Face, Mr. Stockley wears a SpongeBob backpack when leaving Troop HQ. Next, in The Substitute, you can hear the SpongeBob theme song playing in the background when Mr. Stockley is talking to Jake on the phone. True Jackson, VP, has a fun moment in True Parade, where a SpongeBob parade balloon can be seen on a TV screen. Unfabulous has a quick SpongeBob moment when Zach votes for SpongeBob in the You're the Best Friend Ever contest. Even in Victorious, there are a couple of fun SpongeBob references. In Tori Gets Stuck, Robbie is seen wearing SpongeBob underwear. And in Tori Goes Platinum, the paparazzi thinks Sikowitz is the voice of Plankton. Sikowitz goes along with it and says,
"Karen, I must have the secret formula for the Krabby Patty."
In the Welcome to the Wayne episode Like No Other Market on Earth, SpongeBob gets a copyright-friendly parody version named Sponge Robert Rectangle Shorts, voiced by SpongeBob's own Tom Kenny. Winx Club also features a SpongeBob reference in the Cyrenix Surfers game on Nick.com, where SpongeBob's pineapple house is visible in the background. Finally, in Zoe 101, during The Curse of PCA, after Laif gets everyone lost, he admits to Lola that it's because he likes her and asks if he's silly. Lola replies,
"No, Leif. SpongeBob's friend Patrick is silly. I think you're a weirdo."
These were just the SpongeBob references from within the Nickelodeon universe. Now, let's dive into a few notable appearances in shows outside the Nickelodeon universe. Before we move on, if you're enjoying the video so far, give it a like and share your favorite Nickelodeon reference in the comments. Moving over to All of Us, in episode 10, Out of the Picture, Bobby Jr. references SpongeBob, Gary, Patrick, and Squidward to explain why he's upset. Fun fact, this episode shares its title with a SpongeBob Season 10 episode. In episode 17, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?, Bobby Jr. gets tickets to see SpongeBob live. He's excited to meet Sandy Cheeks and mentions SpongeBob, Gary, and Squidward too. The Amazing World of Gumball includes a fun nod to SpongeBob in the Season 2 episode titled The Dream. In this scene, Gumball finds a pineapple in his locker with water dripping out of it. A clear reference to SpongeBob's underwater pineapple home, don't you think? In American Dad, Stan brings a SpongeBob cake in the episode Father's Days to cheer up the family. And in Sense and Sensibility, a piñata that Stan and Francine brought home looked quite similar to SpongeBob. In Amphibia, the famous SpongeBob-style time card appears in the episode The First Temple, while the characters climb stairs. In Animaniacs 2020, the short suspended animation shows a photo of the SpongeBob balloon from the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade among post-1998 photos. In Aqua Teen Hunger Force, the episode The Last One Forever and Ever has Meatwad suggest a story about a sponge who lives in a pineapple under the sea. Shake replies, "Hasn't that already been done?" In Shake Like Me, Meatwad says he wants a SpongeBob bounce house. In Arthur, the episode Baxter and the Letter from the Sea uses a bubble transition that is similar to the ones in SpongeBob's. In To Eat or Not to Eat, a commercial for Rabid Dog Big Boss bars has a sea-like background similar to the one in SpongeBob. In Ben 10 Omniverse, there's a recurring background character named Sponge Gorb, designed and named after SpongeBob. Then, in Bob's Burgers, the episode Crabsolutely Fabulous features Lena calling herself
SpongeBob SquarePants.
an obvious reference to our yellow sponge. The popular Big Bang Theory also referenced SpongeBob multiple times. In the episode The Earworm Reverberation, Sheldon tries to remember a song and ends up singing the first line of the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song. In The Justice League Recombination, Zach says,
"Turns out that if you kill a starfish, it'll just come back to life."
And Sheldon replies,
"Was the starfish wearing boxer shorts? Because you might have been watching Nickelodeon."
This is a nod to Patrick Star and his iconic shorts. In The Separation Oscillation, Howard jokes,
What?
I'd like to SpongeBob her SquarePants.
Now we are done.
Naughty Howard. In The Locomotion Reverberation, when Raj and Stewart are left in charge of Howard and Bernadette's baby, Bernadette worries, saying,
Is everything okay?
Yeah, I may have just left my infant daughter with Patrick and SpongeBob.
In The Platonic Permutation, while playing Food Friend Fight, a version of Kiss, Marry, Kill with sea creatures, Amy gives Sheldon the choices of seal, hagfish, and SpongeBob SquarePants. Sheldon chooses to fight SpongeBob because
He's so friendly, we'll just end up tickling each other.
later on at the end of the episode, over the phone, Sheldon states that he changed his mind and would choose to eat SpongeBob. In The Long Distance Dissonance, Sheldon is seen watching the SpongeBob episode Plankton on his phone, specifically the scene where SpongeBob breaks through Squidward's wall while controlled by Plankton. In Big City Greens, in the episode Dreamweaver, you can hear SpongeBob's voice saying, during Grandma Alice's nightmare. In Blackish, in the episode The Word, Jack gets expelled for saying a curse word. When Diane asks how home was, Jack replies,
SpongeBob was funny.
Up next is Chibiverse. There's a scene where the Disney villains take over, and one of the stones looks a lot like Squidward's house. Next we have The Cleveland Show. Cleveland has a thing for Banana Bob, a banana-shaped version of SpongeBob. He rides a Ferris wheel, with one in Gone with the Wind, wins one in Buried Pleasure, and even mentions a time Holt mistook a SpongeBob piñata for a woman in Beer Walk. Rallo could be spotted with a plush of the same Banana Bob in A Short Story and A Tall Tale, and in the episode of Hot Cocoa Bang Bang, people dressed up in SpongeBob costumes can be spotted in the background. In Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, you can spot the realistic fish head on a magazine in The Ballad of Johnny Sardine. In Crank Yankers, he has a contraceptive SpongeBart poster with SpongeBob with angry eyebrows, 3 teeth, and no pants on. In Doc McStuffins, episode Home is Where the Fruit Is, there's a cool little reference when a board game features a pineapple house that looks just like SpongeBob's. The windows, door, and chimney are all identical to SpongeBob's house. Then, over in Doctor Who, there's a funny moment in The Vampires of Venice, where Rory insults an alien species and casually throws in SpongeBob as part of the insult. If you're watched Drawn Together, you might have noticed the character Woldor Sockbat, who's pretty much a mix between SpongeBob and Stimpy from Ren and Stimpy. And in Duck Dodgers, there's a sea sponge in the episode Fins of War who looks almost exactly like SpongeBob. Escape from Scorpion Island has Asad Karim quoting the SpongeBob theme song opening lyrics just before the luxury ice cream reveal. Family Guy also references SpongeBob numerous times. In Prick Up Your Ears, Stewie's bodyguard lineup includes a green SpongeBob toy. In Road to Rupert, Meg plays The Camping Episode, where SpongeBob and Patrick sing the Campfire Song, thanks to the shared director Dan Povenmire. In Road to the North Pole, Brian questions if Santa Claus is real. Stewie fires back, asking if SpongeBob and Elmo are real, and wonders if SpongeBob really gives Squidward the business. In Turkey Guys, a balloon parody called Sponge Cow, a spoof of SpongeBob, appears in the JCPenney Thanksgiving Day Parade, a play on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which features knockoff character balloons instead of the real ones. In Inside Family Guy, when Peter works as a Hollywood Boulevard mascot, a person in a cheap SpongeBob costume is seen taking pictures with tourists. This mirrors real life, where there's often a SpongeBob mascot on Hollywood Boulevard. The Foolish Angel dances with the devil, Episode 2 has Lily's face briefly morphing to resemble SpongeBob's after seeing Masatora's muscles. In the English dub, she even laughs like SpongeBob.
Ta-da!
Veins, big bulgy veins, yeah!
Frasier brings in a SpongeBob moment in Caught in the Act, when Martin calls Nanny G.
Yeah, SpongeBob Hot Pants.
Fringe gives a quick nod in the pilot, briefly showing Survival of the Idiots. Fuller House throws in references too. In Angel's Night Out, Joey watches SpongeBob, mimicking him and Patrick. Then in Cold Turkey, he mentions the SpongeBob balloon during Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. In the Futurama episode Yo Leela Leela, Abner Double Deal, voiced by SpongeBob's own Tom Kenny, says Leela's show could be bigger than
SpongeBob SquarePants.
a robot resembling SpongeBob and one of the mascots of Nickelodeon. And in 31st Century Fox, Bender jokingly calls the store owner,
Oh, Squidward Scissorhands.
In Glee, Sue calls Will in the episode Comeback.
I agree with Sponge Hair Square Chin.
Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy features a SpongeBob lookalike in the episode Be Afraid, Be Very Afraid. Plus, in Scythe for Sale, flower-shaped clouds appear during the Sea Critters commercial. In Mad TV series, SpongeBob was parodied in several sketches. The opening, a clay animated figure resembling SpongeBob, kicks off the show. Celebrity birthdays. Among birthday shoutouts is Mort Jenkins, a jellyfish actor who played Jellyfish number 56 in SpongeBob SquarePants. Wall-E Nader. Wall-E Nader squishes around SpongeBob, who's packed on Krabby Patties, back to his square shape. Batman Family Feud. A TV guide shows freakish yellow speaking absorbent towel Larry, clearly a SpongeBob spoof. Clifford Field. The Sesame Street character Big Bird, flattened by Clifford the Big Red Dog, hilariously turns into SpongeBob, disproving his one-of-a-kind children's character claim. Who wore it better? SpongeBob competes to see who wore a white sundress best. MAD versus Wild. Bear Grylls snacks on Gary, but regrets eating him with the shell. Poor Gary. Celebrities without their makeup. SpongeBob, minus makeup, is dressed like a fruitcake elf, looking fly AF. iCarly. A Mexican SpongeBob called Sponge Roberto SquarePants appears in a parody ad for iCarly. Law and Ogre. A framed SpongeBob photo decorates the Big Bad Wolfgang Bucks restaurant. Pirates of the Pair of Tweens. Plankton planks with Captain Jack Sparrow on the Krabby Crust. SpongeWow. SpongeBob stars as SpongeWow, a parody of the ShamWow towel soaking up spills in a spoof infomercial. Absduction. Actor Taylor Lautner visits Mr. Krabs, believing he's his real father. Mr. Krabs angrily slams the door on him. This plays into the plot of Lautner's search for his overexposed parents. A nod to Lautner's own shirtless roles in movies. New Gill. Ariel from The Little Mermaid dates SpongeBob, but he's too upbeat for her. Her loss. iChronicle. SpongeBob and Patrick appear on a Nickelodeon blimp. Fart or Chair. SpongeBob sits on a massage chair in this game show sketch. The Blunder Games. A SpongeBob balloon can be spotted at a parade in a parody of the 2012 film The Hunger Games. Taking Nemo. SpongeBob is interrogated by Liam Neeson as Brian Mills from Taken about Nemo's whereabouts. Dark Night at the Museum. SpongeBob shouts his classic, "I'm ready!" SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob becomes a Borg and turns Bikini Bottom residents into a hive mind, mixing Star Trek and SpongeBob for a fun crossover. Doraline. SpongeBob plushies are for sale at the cheap knockoff stand. In Master of None, Dev is a SpongeBob fan. In Door 3, a doctor explains that a man swallowed a SpongeBob toy whole and he removed it from him. In First Date, Dev brings up SpongeBob on a date. In The Dinner Party, Dev mimics SpongeBob's laugh to entertain the guests. In Milo Murphy's Law, the Fungus Among Us episode features a time card styled like SpongeBob's, complete with a narrator reminiscent of the iconic French narrator. Coincidentally, the episode shares its title with an episode from Season 5. In The Middle, episode Birds of a Feather, Axel reminisces about his childhood heroes, listing
Mommy, Daddy, and SpongeBob
on one of his old posters. Next, in More Than Friends, Episode 6, a plush SpongeBob sits inside a claw machine while Sue and Woo-Yan play a nearby arcade game. In the Mr. Men Show, episode Travel, Little Miss Magic creates a pineapple house that looks a lot like SpongeBob's. In episode Ships, Mr. Persnickety humorously mimics the SpongeBob theme by saying,
"I can't hear you!"
In The Office, episode Livin' the Dream, Kevin describes a famous play about a salesman that he claims was written by SpongeBob, leaving Andy baffled. During the official BBC Children in Need medley, near the end of the music video, a clip from Gullible Pants plays on Big Chris's phone, and SpongeBob even appears on the album cover alongside other beloved characters. On Augie and the Cockroaches, a spectator wears a SpongeBob costume in Run, Olivia, Run, and a grinning SpongeBob plush pops up in the joke shop in Augie and the Magic Smile. In One Day at a Time, Penelope gives SpongeBob a quick mention during One Halloween at a Time. In Outnumbered, in The Old-Fashioned Sunday, Karen gets annoyed when Pete turns off the TV, interrupting her SpongeBob SquarePants episode. She argues that it's educational, showing how to make Krabby Patties and what happens under the sea. Pete dismisses it, saying there are plenty of shows about the ocean. In the Peanuts episode School Chums, Peppermint Patty falls asleep during a class movie. When she's asked about it later, she quips,
"I don't suppose it was about SpongeBob, was it?"
Phineas and Ferb also makes clever nods to SpongeBob in Phineas and Ferb Busters. Doofenshmirtz runs away from a robot, mimicking the scared guy in the movie from Crabborg. And in Summer Belongs to You, Phineas digs up a sponge and a starfish on a deserted island, a clear nod to SpongeBob and Patrick. The Powerpuff Girls also has multiple references to our favorite sponge. In Substitute Creature, during the song Keane, the boy who shouts, "Hey!" has SpongeBob's voice, a fun nod, since Tom Kenny voices both characters. In Divide and Conquer, the mayor of Townsville, voiced by Tom Kenny, turns to the Powerpuff Girls with scurvy skin that looks strikingly like SpongeBob. In Resident Evil, a character reflects on his love for SpongeBob in the episode The Turn. Next, Robot Chicken spoofs SpongeBob SquarePants in the Season 1 episode That Hurts Me, the sketch Where Do They Get the Energy?, where a sponge and starfish dance energetically, only to exhaust themselves before snorting magic white powder to recharge. In the episode Tell My Mom, the sketch Oh You Meant Me features Sandy getting pregnant and SpongeBob realizes she used himself, a sponge, to protect her. In the sketch Krabby Patties, seen in the episode Major League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, SpongeBob reveals that Krabby Patties are made from crab meat, calamari rings from squid, and chicken of the sea salad from tuna. In Boogie Bardstown in No Need, I Have Coupons, SpongeBob competes on MasterChef Celebrity Showdown, hosted by Gordon Ramsay. Ironically, he has to cook with water, which he fears, and ends up catching fire. As last but not least in the sketch Squidward's New Role, seen in the episode Gracie Purgatory in That's How You Get Hemorrhoids, Squidward stars in an adult film, Typical Squidward. In Scissor 7, Season 3, episode Sneaking into Schwanwu Country, a SpongeBob-themed time card appears at the beginning of the episode. In Sidekick's Halloween special Halloweeny, Wardrobe Man shows Eric a big yellow sea sponge costume, clearly a SpongeBob parody with a cowboy hat. In 6 Feet Under's episode You Never Know, Julio and Federico can be seen watching SpongeBob. A human version of SpongeBob makes a cameo in Stripperella, a short-lived adult cartoon by Stan Lee. SpongeBob SquarePants has been referenced numerous times in The Simpsons. In the opening credits of Pray Anything, Bart's blackboard gag reads, "SpongeBob is not a contraceptive." In A Star is Born Again, Ned Flanders jokes.
Oh, whoa. This movie's turning into SpongeBob No Pants.
In She Used to Be My Girl, Lisa prays to Jesus, Buddha, and SpongeBob, and a crude drawing of SpongeBob appears in heaven. In Fat Man and Little Boy, Krusty the Clown announces a character shirt for Scratch Bob Itch Pants. In The Wife Aquatic, an exhibit titled The Science of SpongeBob features a SpongeBob statue. Treehouse of Horror 20 includes Frankenstein's monster dressed as SpongeBob. Treehouse of Horror 21 credits the director as SpongeBob Anderson Pants. In Angry Dad the Movie, Bart references SpongeBob by saying,
"I've always loved cartoons, going way back to the real early SpongeBobs."
In Yellow Subterfuge, Lisa shows Krusty a parody of SpongeBob called Spugna Roberto Quadrati Pantaloni. In the parody, Spugna Roberto gives Squidwardo Calamari a landmine as a gift, which detonates when a seahorse triggers it. Spugna Roberto's house is humorously a watermelon, spoofing SpongeBob's pineapple. Brick Like Me shows SpongeBob's pineapple in a Lego playset. In Treehouse of Horror 29, Homer answers when asked about the most evil creature in the sea.
SpongeBob!
The Way of the Dog features a dog holding a SpongeBob plush with orange skin. How cute! Treehouse of Horror 31 has Homer transform into Sponge Homer in a multiverse segment. The Ways We Were includes a CAPTCHA featuring Patrick Starr's picture. In Treehouse of Horror 33, a theme park called SpongeBob Sea appears in a segment. Step Brother from the Same Planet features a SpongeBob costume at a party. South Park features SpongeBob with a green color scheme in A Nightmare on FaceTime and Hell on Earth 2006, while he's also spotted in the background in another episode several times. In The Superhero Squad Show, episode Mental Organism Designed Only for Kisses, SpongeBob's laugh is heard while Hulk channel surfs. Supergirl features a nod to SpongeBob when Cisco calls Harry Squidward for his grumpy personality in Crisis on Earth X Part 1. In the Superstore, episode Easter, Jonah Sims suggests a moment of silence for Steven Hillenburg, creator of SpongeBob SquarePants, who passed away 5 months prior to the episode airing. Rest in peace, legend. In the episode Zephyr Cares, Jeff jokingly calls Amy SpongeBob after she shows him a cabinet full of healthy seaweed snacks in the employee break room. Amy responds confused, asking,
I'm SpongeBob?
In Teen Titans Go, references to SpongeBob pop up throughout. In BBRB Day, Sticky Joe is seen wearing pants similar to Patrick's. Video game references features Robin creating a rainbow while saying, "Imagination," echoing the Idiot Box episode. Dr. Light's giant squid in The Cast looks a lot like Squidward. Coincidentally, the giant squid is also voiced by Roger Bumpass, the same actor for Squidward. In DC, Cyborg's delivery of
"A half hour later"
is a nod to the French narrator from SpongeBob SquarePants, who is known for narrating time cards in a similar manner. In the episode A Stickier Situation, when Sticky Joe is battling the penguin, one of the umbrellas has a jellyfish on it, which have the same design as the ones from SpongeBob SquarePants. In Tosh.0, SpongeBob is referenced multiple times. In the episode Force Field Master, Daniel Tosh references Patrick Starr, saying,
"Look at that starfish from SpongeBob Go."
when a guy in a wheelchair defends someone in a fight. The video also shows a picture of Patrick during the breakdown. In Memorabilia Auction 2, someone is seen dressed up as SpongeBob. In Nutshot Zach, a picture of Zach from 2006 shows him with numerous SpongeBob posters. In 2.5 Men, in the episode Alan Harper, Frontier Chiropractor, Jake explains the series to Evelyn, and she responds,
"So bottom line, he's a sponge."
In Winky Dink Time, Jake mentions that one of Charlie's nicknames for him is
SpongeBob SmearPants.
In Uncle Grandpa, in the episode New Kid, Tommy imagines himself working at the Krusty Krab, where Squidward appears green with one eye. In the short The Grampies, Uncle Grandpa invites other cartoon characters to an award ceremony where they believe they will win. However, it's rigged for Uncle Grandpa to win every time. This is a reference to how SpongeBob SquarePants wins the award for favorite cartoon every year. In Undead Unluck, episode 6, after being informed about the UMA spoil, Fuko mishears their name as Sponge instead of Spoil. This is followed by a pixelated image of SpongeBob, who responds with a cheerful SpongeBob Hemp Pants is a stoner parody of SpongeBob SquarePants that aired as part of VH1 ILL Ustrated, a short-lived show. The series features characters with drug-related names and personalities, with SpongeBob Hemp Pants, the parody of SpongeBob, living in a mushroom and befriended by Hashbrick, a parody of Patrick Star. The theme song is also a parody, resembling the original SpongeBob SquarePants theme. In video mods, a unique SpongeBob moment occurred in 2005 when a music video aired on MTV2, featuring SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, and Sandy dancing to Blink-182's All the Small Things. And finally, here are some notable television commercials where SpongeBob SquarePants appears or is referenced. A 2003 commercial for Mitsubishi Endeavor SUV featured the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song playing on a portable TV. A 2015 McDonald's commercial, Arch Enemies, showcased SpongeBob and Plankton befriending each other. Around 2017, General Mills used a SpongeBob clip from Bubble Stand in a Honey Nut Cheerios commercial to highlight the cereal's O shape. In 2020, Ritz Crackers aired a commercial with a clip from Nature Pants showing SpongeBob hugging Squidward. On February 22, 2021, an Oikos commercial featured SpongeBob exercising with footage from Muscle Bob Buff Pants. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed these fun SpongeBob references across so many shows and commercials. If you're curious about more pop culture connections or anything else, feel free to reach out anytime. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more cool content like this.